Have you ever wondered the difference between you and your desired greatness? Are you torn in the confusion of realizing who you are and what you're capable of actualizing? What if one decision today can reveal the leader within you and change the narrative? Welcome to Empowerment Hub with Chidebere Clifford Eze, where potentials are unlocked and leaders built. While training minds and challenging excuses, ordinary people are transformed into confident, purpose-driven leaders. Every episode is a call to action, to growth, to stretch, and to rise. You are equipped to quit doubting and delaying, and to start discovering and becoming. Step in, level up, lead boldly, and transform your world. Be empowered.
Welcome once again to Empowerment Hub podcast. I want to sincerely appreciate you for your commitment to this podcast. I believe you've been getting value all this while. Thank you for committing. Meanwhile, sit tight. We are going to have a very serious discussion on this episode. This episode is a product of my contemplation and discussion a couple of days ago with a friend, and I just said I need to talk about this topic so importantly, especially in our age and time, especially for the young person out there. So in this episode, we'll be considering the topic, the currency of knowledge. We're looking at why lifelong learners win. Why lifelong learners win. Why people that are committed to learning win always, or win in life and destiny. Bishop David shared a story years ago. He said that he traveled to South Africa, and while on the road, he saw a signpost with the inscription, "Knowledge, the new world currency." Knowledge, the new world currency. And he humorously said that, that knowledge is not the new world currency. It's not new. It has always been there, just that people just discovered it. And I think this is something to pay attention. It's worth paying attention. Currency is a standardized medium of exchange used to facilitate trade and represent value. So, whenever currency is mentioned, I know you think of dollar, pounds, or naira. But do you know that knowledge, when we think of currency, whenever currency is mentioned, you think of dollar, pounds, and naira. But do you know that knowledge is also a currency? There are many other currencies apart from the naira, dollar, the monetary currency, coins, and monetary currencies that you know of. And knowledge is one of them. So the same way you can purchase things with naira and dollar and pounds and all, you can actually purchase things with the right and sufficient knowledge. What you know about money, about your career, about your business or field, about relationships is responsible for the possibilities in your life today. Let's say what you know or what you don't know. So what you know or what you don't know about relationships, about your career, about money, about finances, about your business or field, your endeavor is responsible for the possibilities and lack of possibilities in your life today. So where your learning stops, right, your impact ceases. When you stop learning, you start dying. When you stop learning, you start dying. You are either building a library or you are building a mortuary. Knowledge is the new world currency. Please, by all means, value knowledge. Value knowledge. Make time for learning. You always have time, or make time for what you love. So if you love knowledge, if you love knowledge, you would make out time for it. Anyone with genuine taste for knowledge will always have time to learn. So my counsel is make time to learn continually. Never cease seeking for new ideas, new concepts, new knowledge. While preparing for this episode, I took out the time to research on the percentage of people who still read after graduation, whether graduating from high school or from college. And you'll be shocked to know that study shows that about 3% of high school graduates never read another book for the rest of their life. Like about 3% of high school graduates rather, never get to read another book for the rest of their life. And this is shocking, right? Because these people are around 15, 16, 17 years of age. These are people that are in their 15, 16, 17, like mostly teenagers. and they never get to read another book in their life. And some of these guys will live up to 50, 60, 70. Those of them that are lucky enough will be up to 80, 90. So for a bigger percentage, for more than 50%, even 75% for some of them of their life, they never get to read any other book. The same study shows that about 42% of college graduates, university graduates, never read another book after graduation. I checked for my country, Nigeria, and it's quite funny, right? But then study shows that the average Nigerian reads less than one book per year. That is sounding diplomatic. It means that less than, like, the average Nigerian does not read any book at all in a year. Like in a full year, the average Nigerian does not read any book at all. Most people read only when there is an exam, when an exam is coming up and all, and that is very, very sad. So something when we're in secondary school, something used to happen when we're in secondary school. After our major exams, either third term exam, we used to have first term, second term, third term, or what we call then junior work and senior work. After our last exams, whether it is junior work, senior work, or third term exams, we used to break our pen and make promises to us. Looking back now, I can look at how dumb that was. We make promises to us that we will not read anything, not even a signboard, right? And unfortunately, some of us kept that promise. Some persons kept that promise to themselves and never get to read any other book after their graduation from secondary school or university, right? And that is so sad. And unfortunately, when you look at the lives of those that have kept that promise, you see that their life are just limited. See, you must never have that graduation mentality in life. Whether you are graduated from secondary school, from university, even after your master's, PhD, whatever level, you should never have that graduation mentality. Otherwise, you will suffer degeneration. If you have that graduation mentality, you will see yourself suffering degeneration. It was Jim Rohn that said that formal education will make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Formal education will make you a living. That's the kind of education you get in the classroom, whereas self-education will make you a fortune. So today, make a decision to commit to continuous learning. Have a confidence with yourself. Have a commitment to yourself that you learn daily, continuously. So, just in case you are a Nigerian listening to this, make a vow. Promise yourself that you will not be like the average Nigerian. That means that you will not that you read more than one book in a year. Actually, it should be at least one book in a month. Winners in life and destiny are lifelong learners. Those who win in this life and destiny are people that are committed to learning. So do you want to win? Then commit to a lifelong continuous learning. Commit to a life of continuous learning. Commit to a lifelong learning that you keep learning every day. See, any great man or woman you admire today is committed to learning continuously. The person is committed to learning continuously, structurally and continuously. Bishop David Oyedepo would always say, I've mentioned it initially, that you are either building a library or a mortuary. You are either building a library or a mortuary. So start building a library today. So that means that if you are not building a library today, you are actually building a mortuary. And that mortuary is for yourself, for your life, for your destiny. I started buying books when I was 17. Then I don't know so much about personal development and all, but just I had this passion for knowledge. So I started buying books, building my library at age 17, and I'm not stopping anytime soon. In short, I'm not stopping till death. There is nothing you get out of life except by knowledge. I just hope you get this. There is nothing you get out of life except by knowledge. Before we go into the kinds of knowledge you need, let me share a story. So last year during KSM means Koina School of Ministry, I attended last year. Apostle Joseph Seman shared a story of a young man that met him years ago and asked him for his suggestions, right, on an investment the young man should go into. So it happens that the young man had 100,000 naira at the time, and he met Apostle Joseph Seman and was asking him what kind of investment he should go into. I guess the young man was thinking Apostle would tell him, okay, buy the shares of this company and that company, or invest in mutual funds, or go into this business, maybe grains and all. But then Apostle Seman told him to invest in himself, that the greatest investment one can make is in himself or herself. So Apostle told the young man to go and buy books, pay for courses, learn a skill, master that skill. Just invest in yourself. And that is the greatest investment. That is the greatest investment, investing in yourself, and you do that by getting adequate knowledge. Now let's look at the kinds of knowledge you need. So first is personal knowledge. So this is the foundation of all knowledge. So here you get to know yourself. So know yourself, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, know your temperament, know your emotions. I'm of the view that nobody should enter a love relationship, not to talk of marriage, if the person have not taken the time to study himself or herself. Again, you should not talk about entering a relationship, or even a romantic relationship actually, or even going into marriage if you've not taken the time to understand yourself. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your limitations? What are your emotions? What are your temperaments? Remember, this is just the foundation. The second kind of knowledge you should go for is spiritual knowledge. This is the anchor. When you've laid the foundation, this is now the anchor, right? And actually, you can't even get to know yourself if you don't know God, because God is your manufacturer. The same way you cannot know a product without getting to read it. Or the best way to know a product is by reading the manufacturer's manual. And that's the same way you cannot know yourself if you don't know God. So the second kind of knowledge I would highlight here is spiritual knowledge. So knowing about God, knowing God, not just knowing about God. In our last episode, one of the previous episodes, where we talked about knowing God, right, beyond borrowed faith, we talked extensively on knowing God. So you can still listen to the episode. But in knowing God, you should know God, you should know His word, know His character, know His weight, know His promises. The Bible is made up of promises, principles, and prophecies. So you should be able to know this about in knowing God. Then your professional knowledge. Professional knowledge. Before we talk about the financial knowledge, professional knowledge is your marketplace currency. So you have to know your field deeply. Know your field well enough to solve problems, to create value, and to be excellent in your field. So know your field. When you've known yourself, when you've known God, you have to understand and know your field. Then financial knowledge. This is for your survival and for strategy, right? So know how money works. Do you know how to make, manage, and multiply money? So pay attention to this knowledge. Buy books on finances. Buy books on finances. There are plethora of them. Get books on finances and read. Then the last knowledge you need is relational knowledge. This kind of knowledge makes everything work. Every other thing relies on relationship. Apostle Joshua Selman will say that God blesses men through men. That God blesses men through men, or the blessings of God comes from God through men to men. Right. So you have to understand people. You have to learn honor. You have to learn communication, learn commitment, and actually be committed to your relationship. Learn to forgive. If you pay attention to all this kind of knowledge, you will see yourself living an exceptional life. And I'll be here sharing you on. I hope you got value from this episode. Thank you so much.